newly engaged, you probably know that you have a big bill coming up to pay for your wedding. As a newlywed myself, I know that costs can add up very quickly and the wedding can cost more than what you had originally expected. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to financially plan your wedding by showing you how you can save money while also having that picture perfect wedding that you've always dreamed of. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Banks and my channel is about financial tips and tricks that you can bank on. The first thing that you need to do is have a conversation with your partner to determine exactly how much money you want to spend on the wedding. So this is a very important conversation, and might I add, the most important conversation, because if you don't talk about this, it's going to be very easy to keep adding things and costs will just keep adding up and next thing you know, you're in a whole lot of debt. While you're having this conversation, you want to keep in mind on where you can pull all the money together to create your wedding fund. So here's the 3 ways that you can pull money to have a picture perfect wedding. So number 1 is your savings from a tax-free savings account or a non-registered investment. Number 2 is the extra money that you don't spend each month, so the extra cash flow that you bring in that you don't spend. And number 3 is also help from your parents. So point number 1, your savings. So this could be money that you've put aside into a tax-free savings account or a non-registered investment for many years or for a few months, whatever it is, there's some money there that you can potentially use towards your wedding. Now to keep in mind, if you have a tax-free savings and you're in a JC where it's a fixed term that you can't pull out the money right away, you want to make sure that that money is somewhat liquid for when you're going to need to pay those vendors. Now for non-registered investments, same thing applies, but the other thing that you want to keep in mind is if you sell and you have capital gains, you're going to be paying those gains in the next following tax year. So just keep that in mind before pulling out those investments. Point number 2 is the extra monthly cash flow that you can have to put aside for your wedding. So I'm going to give you a quick example. Let's say you and your partner total bring in $5,000 a month and your expenses are $4,500. This means you have an extra $500 that you can play with so that you can put aside for the wedding. So let's say you're getting married in 12 months time. Well, you can say that 12 months times $500 a month equals $6,000. So you can put that $6,000 towards your wedding fund. Point number 3 is parents' contribution. This can be a touchy subject because some parents can be more involved than others. But for this point, it doesn't need to be, I would say, complicated. All it is you can go to each of your parents and just ask them how they want to be involved within the wedding. If in the past they've said that they've wanted to contribute some specific way, then that's when you have that conversation early enough. And if they plan on giving you some money towards the wedding, then you can add that towards the fund. But it doesn't always have to be about money. They can help you with a rehearsal dinner, a whole bunch of decorations that you want to hand make yourself. There's so many things that your parents can contribute, and it's also a very big day for them. So just having that small conversation, painless conversation, can go a very long way. Once you've had that conversation with your spouse and you know exactly how much money you can pull from your savings, how much money extra cash flow a month you can put towards the wedding, and also any parents' contributions if there are some, you know exactly that's your budget. If you go above that amount, you know that you're going to have to find money elsewhere or it can potentially create debt for you. Now obviously the costs don't stop there, but I want to do a little bit something fun. So I'm going to show you a little montage of exactly what type of expenses that can potentially occur while showing you some of the pictures of my wedding. So I hope that you enjoy, and I will be right back very shortly. enjoyed those pictures and you had some ideas of what the type of costs are gonna kind of come. But the one I just want to add a little bit more detail to is your security fund. So you're gonna have unexpected expenses. It doesn't matter who you are, as much as you plan, there's gonna be probably something that goes wrong or something that you didn't plan for that's gonna cost you more. So I would do at least a minimum of put 5% of your budget up to 10% for a little security fund. Now I know that there is so much things that you need to think about planning your own wedding. But one free tool that my wife and I really used, and when I say my wife and I, well, mostly my wife, she used TheKnot. And that was really easy because she was able to create her own website for us to give a whole bunch of information to all of our guests when we sent or save the dates. We can also go on the website and see that you can export certain documents and you could create your own budget if you want to. And it lists a whole bunch of different potential costs and a lot more than the list I just recently gave you. Now, when you think your wedding is all planned for and there's no more costs, well, technically there's two other things that you need to think about. So number one is a honeymoon. So obviously you and your spouse or your partner need to celebrate, and a lot of people go for honeymoon, and that ain't free. So that's definitely something that you need to consider and budget for on top of your wedding fund, and that can potentially be including your wedding fund. And then number two is gifts that you're gonna receive. So yes, you may have a registry, but there's probably a lot of people who are gonna give you cash. So that is one thing that I really wanna stress is you don't plan to use the money from your wedding to help fund your wedding. That is most likely used for stuff that you want for the house or something that you didn't get on your registry. Because if you try to estimate how many gifts you're gonna get and you overestimate, well, this can be very bad. And it's also nice to have that extra money on the side to buy things that you normally wouldn't buy yourself. Oh, and don't let me forget, for the past year, I had so many Instagram reels that were about different wedding planning tips and stuff. So if you're on Instagram or YouTube Shorts, definitely go check those out because there are so many things that we grabbed from our wedding and it just made our day look so much nicer. Now, as a soon-to-be newlywed, I hope you found this video very informative. And if you have any tips yourself, you should put them down in the comments. And as usual, if you have any financial questions whatsoever, you can email me at ryanbankcpa@gmail.com. So I want to thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day.